This is our weekly chat on MSUEagles.com with head softball coach David Williams. And Coach, you went down to the Jackson State tournament in Mississippi this past weekend, 1-3 overall. Just give us some of your overall thoughts coming out of that weekend event.
Well, obviously happy to get the one win. We had a tough loss the first game of the tournament against Northwestern State, which is a really good team, defending South Atlantic Conference champions. Then we turned around that night and dropped another one to defending SWAC champion Jackson State. So really tough losses the first day. The second day we kind of regrouped a little bit. We hit the ball really well all weekend, put the ball in play, did a lot of really good things, hit 4 home runs alone just on Saturday. So I'm really pleased at our patience at the plate, some of the things we did well offensively. Obviously we still got to improve in a couple other areas, pitching, some defensive things, and it seems like, once you work on one thing, something else pops up that you need to work on, and that's what we'll address this week before we head to ETSU.
I've known you going on 4 years now, never known you to make excuses, but realistically, how challenging is it for your team when you come back to Moorhead after tournament number 2, you've got a foot of snow, you can't get outdoors? How did you have to adjust practice plans prior to the Jackson State tournament?
I was really hoping it wouldn't hurt us that much from the standpoint that we did get outside a lot prior. But I think one of the most visible areas that it was noticeable is we really had trouble reading fly balls when we went down to Jackson State. And I don't know if that was just having a week off and from being outside because of the snow, or if it was because it was really windy there and it was playing with the fly balls. Now we caught them, so we did a good job. It's just some of our reads and our angles were a little shaky. But sometimes when you can't get outside and work on the things that you see from the previous tournament, you're really limited indoors, so you can only work on them so much. So it does affect you a little bit. I'd like to say it didn't affect us as much as you would think, but obviously sometimes there's things that you can't prepare for.
Carly Thompson, 2 home runs for your team this past week. She's a sophomore, kind of swinging the bat well, leading the Eagles so far this season. Talk about her play and your expectations for her moving forward.
She's been on fire. I think she's hit safely in the last 5 games. Just this weekend alone, like you mentioned, 2 home runs. She had a triple as well. She had quite a handful. I think she might have had like 6 RBIs or 5 RBIs. She had 5 RBIs. Just really seeing the ball well. Really patient at the plate, waits for her pitch. If she gets down in the count, she battles and fouls off pitches until she gets one that she likes. She's really doing a great job right now, and where she's at in the order, she's producing offensively because she's driving in those RBIs with those big hits, and that's what we want out of her.
You've had some good offensive production out of one of your freshmen, Lane Simmons, also had a home run in the Jackson State tournament and batted in 4 runs in just 6 at-bats. Talk about maybe what you've seen from her early on.
Lane's tough. She's been swinging the bat well. She had a big home run the week prior down at Kennesaw State. She's swinging well. She's a catcher. We're trying to save those catchers a little bit right now and not really burn their legs out, so she's been catching every other game at this point. But obviously if she starts producing like that all the time, we're going to have to find a way to get her in the lineup a little more regular. But just a tough player. She got nailed hard, hit by a pitch, and then turned around and wound up getting a hit. And then the next at bat, she hits a home run. So just tough. Did a really good job at the plate this weekend as well. Girl tried to steal. She blocked the plate, and there was a hard collision, but she held onto the ball and got the out. So, she's done a really good job for us. I'm really proud of her.
Only 2 seniors on the roster this year, and one of them is pitcher Tana Cipher. She got the win against Jackson State. Give us an analysis, if you would, of that performance and kind of what you need from her moving forward.
Leadership's what we need from her moving forward, obviously. And this weekend was probably one of Tana's better all-around weekends. She's had some moments, but she's really starting to settle down. And she threw well this weekend, did a really good job coming in against Jackson State and really gave us some quality innings, threw the ball pretty well, made some adjustments. And I think that if she can continue to improve and settle down a little bit, she can finish like she did last year. Last year she finished really strong. I think she won 8 out of her last 9 starts and threw really well. And she might have had something, I think it was like 33 scoreless innings in a row. If we can get that kind of production out of her, which I know she's capable of, it will help solidify our pitching staff a little bit more.
Non-conference tournament number 4 of 5 this coming weekend, Saturday and Sunday, Johnson City, Tennessee. You got 2 with Canisius and 2 with the host team, East Tennessee State. Just give us an outlook, if you would, on this weekend's tournament.
Well, neither team's played last weekend because of weather. Actually, Canisius hasn't played in the past 2 weekends. So I would imagine that they're going to be ready to hit the field. They've been kind of cooped up, but I don't know what their outside experience is like. So, we need to try to do some things offensively to put them in motion and move them around. But, on paper, they're one of those tricky teams. They've got some good bats. It looks like pitching might be one of their areas that they need to work on. Biggest thing is there. Same with East Tennessee State. East Tennessee State's kind of had some up and down so far this year. Hitting the ball really well. Pitching seems to be struggling a little bit. Seems like the common theme for everybody right now as we're starting at the beginning of the year. Everybody's trying to get their pitching worked out. But I think the biggest thing is just anything, you got to score runs to win. So we need to put the ball in play, get some runners across, and we just need to play solid defense and have solid outings by our pitchers. And I think if we do that, we'll fare well this weekend.
David, we wish you and the team all the best this weekend. We'll talk to you again next week.
All right, thank you.
That's head softball coach David Williams. We'll have more on MSUEagles.com throughout the weekend, so please check back.